we have on the show. Now, it's going to be a weird one to introduce you guys because you go as Kelsam, but your names are actually Kelsey and Sam. Is that correct, first of all?
Yes.
Yes.
We go by Kelsum. That's our company name. Pretty crafty. Just combined our two names.
That is very stealthy. I never would have guessed. Very good. Hey, it works, doesn't it? I know, coming up with names is like, as any gamer knows, is like the hardest bit of any character creation.
Yeah.
Which is why you end up with like weird variations on your name as the character name. Which, well, I do because I'm extremely lazy. Just adding S's and D's into my name and stuff that don't need to be there. So random name generators are my best friend on games, much to the dismay of some of my friends who are quite serious about the name matching the law. and then I enter the game with Mr. Slapped You Back. It just generated randomly. I didn't choose it. Anyway, so welcome to the show. That's completely off topic. So now we know who you are. Why don't you tell us? Well, your game is actually called. Now, this is going to be another whole side note here. So, Cymatically Muffed is the name of your game. It's an amazing name. But I need to know.
Thank you.
One, what the hell it means, and two, where did you get it from? Where's the name from? So, go for it.
Okay, so it's cymatically muffed, and cymatics is how sound impacts matter. It's the frequency that it uses, and the muffs are the big headphones. So because in the game, when you bump music on your big headphones, you get powers, then you're cymatically muffed.
Beautifully said. Right, that makes sense now. Now I've actually got some knowledge. Shows how ignorant I am, but cool. That's a very cool name. And who came up with that?
I don't remember.
What you
I think
you don't
mostly
remember?
Sam.
You don't remember coming up with the name Cymatically Muffed? Someone.
It's been a while.
Oh, okay. Well, that's gonna be a future question. Okay, so tell us about your game. What kind of game do you have? Obviously, I've played it quite a few times, but I expect my descriptions are normally pretty basic. So, why don't you tell us what your game is about?
So it's a top-down shooter, and I just discussed the mechanic of the big headphones, but it just has general shooter mechanics. Oh, man. But it's from a top-down perspective, like straight top-down, which is a little off-putting sometimes for people initially, but we think it works pretty well for the gameplay that we're going for.
Yeah, it does, especially with like the map layout as well. It makes sense being top-down.
It's actually kind of a mix. Is the rooms are like a perspective top-down view where you can see the sides of the walls at a weird angle, but like all the stuff in the rooms is like orthogonal top-down, so you only see like the top profile of all the objects. So it's a little weird.
Okay, well, I'm gonna have to put some sort of warning on this. Orthonic. What was that word?
Orthogonal.
Orthogonal. Whatever that means. People look it up on the internet. I don't know what that means. This is Simpleton Town here. I can't be dealing with words like that. I've just woken up. Okay, wow. So, and it's all hand drawn. Is it all hand drawn?
It is, yes.
By whom?
I do the artwork and the level design, and so I have drawn all of the stuff.
Wow. That's impressive. And why did you decide to do it hand drawn?
Well, we were initially working on a different version of the game. It was like a side-scrolling platformer, and we had an artist who was doing all the artwork.
Mm-hmm.
And then he had some life stuff come up and had to drop out of the project. And so, and at that point, we were like 8 months into development on that game.
Oh,
so instead of trying to pick up with a new artist and start over and risk losing another year's worth of progress, we decided that I would attempt to do the artwork. That's also part of the reason it's top-down, is because I felt more comfortable drawing top-down than profile artwork.
Well, that's impressive. I mean, how cool that that's worked out. I mean, obviously bad for the other person, but it's cool that you've managed to step in and keep it going. You know, with this, it looks great. And again, what I love with a lot of indie games is this looks like your game.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. It has a unique aesthetic.
If I saw a screenshot, I could say, well, I know that's Cymatically Muffed, clearly, which is awesome.
Yeah.
It's great because, you know, it is very tempting just to, I suppose, import some generic library, and that's okay. If, you know, if that's what you need to do to get your game out, that's no problem, is it? But it's nice to have your own touch on a game, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. We're big fans of doing pretty much everything custom.
Yeah.
That means time.
Yes, yes, it does.
Yes, it does. Yes. Okay, it's cool. And so, how long have you been developing this?
So we've been working on this version for about 1.5 years.
This version? What does that mean?
Well, we had a previous version that was the side-scrolling platformer that we had worked on for like 8 months.
Okay, so you literally just took the same project and just changed it into this art. Okay, I see what you're saying now.
Yeah, we scrapped, I think, everything except for the menu system from the last game.
Right, wow. That's quite a change.
And the story is a little...
Yeah, the story's quite a bit different, but it's based on what we had outlined for the first one still, so I guess that seeped its way through.
Okay, so about the story, because what I've played, I was playing it kind of before there was a story, because you've added a lot of like what's the word I'm looking for? Like not
the comics
scenes, the comics to explain it. Thank you. Words are hard. Who knew? So you've added a lot of. So what is the story of the game? What is the idea of it?
So the storyline of the game is you are a test subject who Dr. Wolf has been experimenting on. And over the course of experimenting, you have realized that when you have your headphones on and you bump the music, then you get powers. And the powers that you have are you can move faster and hit harder and fire all your weapons fully automatic.
Yeah, so it's basically like you're listening to death metal suddenly. When you actually get the headphones on, I do love the jump in music instantly as soon as you activate them. It does.
Yeah, it's pretty hard.
Yeah, it actually makes you sit up and go, oh, what's happening? I need to. It does make you actually destroy stuff. It's very good. It surprised me the first time. It's cool. So like I said, I have done a couple of streams of this so far, and I love the detail of the fact that even like the toilets have got the cubicles have got toilets in them, and the pool table's got balls on it, and I know it's only little tiny things, isn't it? But it does really make a difference.
Yeah, Kels spends a lot of time on, like, the levels all have a huge amount of detail in them. If you walk through the offices, you can look on different desks and see different little desk toys and different arrangements of stuff to kind of see what those people are working on, what they're doing.
Yeah, because you can zoom in slightly as well, can you? You can go in and out quite a lot, actually.
Yeah, you can zoom in really, really far, actually.
Yeah.
We don't recommend you play that way. But...
No, you're not going to see what the hell was in the next. Well, that could be like the hardcore way, couldn't it?
Only see what's right very next to you.
Yeah, you can only see 2 feet in front of you. That's it. And even the fact that you put the footprints in the green goo.
Oh man, that's one of my favorite features. We did that pretty late, actually. That only happened a couple months ago. But there's mud and there's green goo in the laboratory levels, and a few different things that if you walk through, it leaves little footprints. My favorite one is the scorch marks, because those are a little more dynamic. The green goo and stuff we manually place in the levels in certain places.
Okay.
But like if you throw a grenade and it makes a scorch mark on the ground, when you step through that, it leaves little ash prints while you walk through it.
See, that's great. It's, as soon as I walked through the goo, I was like, "That's cool. There's footprints." Straight away, it's a really nice touch. It's very good.
It's all part of that aesthetic polish.
Yeah, but that's, it shows you care. It shows you you haven't just created a generic game just for the sake of creating a game. You're creating it because you enjoy creating it, and it does show. So engine-wise, now, Sam, I'm not noticing a lot of contributions here so far. What are you doing all day?
I put on this one for sure. So, our engine is
coding stuff.
What?
You must be doing coding stuff then, I take it. Is that
Yes, I am the programmer half of our team.
Good. Oh, there we go.
pretty much it.
I didn't want you to feel like I didn't want to make sure you went like a cheerleader. So,
No, so we have a custom engine. I wrote it in C# using MonoGame, and yeah.
okay, well, hold on. We got to go back there. So, this is this is for once not a Unity game.
Yeah, not Unity. It isn't written in C# but not Unity. It is a 100% custom engine.
Custom engine,
which is really good.
Built by you, custom engine.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it runs super fast. So, like even if you have like an older, slower laptop, it'll still most likely run at hundreds of frames a second, like just blistering speed.
Wow.
So it's quite efficient.
I've got loads of old hardware here. I'm just going to chuck it on stuff now.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so why did you choose to make a custom engine? Surely that sounds like 10 times the work.
Not for me, actually. I've been programming for a really long time, so I like to do everything custom because then I know exactly how it works and I have the full control to make it do whatever I want it to do without having to work around existing stuff. So I can, wow. It's a, in my opinion, just a higher tier way to do it. You have more control, you have more power to make it the way you want it to be.
Definitely. I mean, it's the sort of thing that everybody wants to do, but a very small percentage of people can actually do it.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, well, that's impressive. I mean, as a team, you're an impressive pair, aren't you? I mean, you've got a really diverse set of skills between just two of you. So what about the music? Who's in charge of that?
So we both pick the music, but all of our music is actually free use. Most of it comes from freesound.org. And we're actually, the soundtrack is on the Steam page for free. You don't have to buy the game or anything. You can just have it. And most of our sounds are from Freesound also with the free use sounds.
We re-engineer them a little bit, but pretty much all the sounds we use, other than the voice acting, is made by other people that we credit. So if you actually go into the credits of the game, there's like 3 credits at the top that credits us, and then there's like 200 credits that credits all the people that make the music and sounds.
Wow. Yeah, it's okay. That's cool. And I'm just about to say something. Why did I look away at the screens? Typical, isn't it? So we're talking about the music. Christ, what was I about to say? It's going to annoy me. We'll come back to it. It'll come back to me. It'll hit me. That's what I was going to say. So, when is the planned release date?
That's a tough question.
Well, you're getting it.
The release date has come and gone a couple times. It's in early access right now on Steam, and it is in an almost complete form. We are just finishing the campaign right now, so you can play, I would say, 99% of what is going to be in the final version of the PvP, and you can play probably about 70 to 80-ish% of what's going to be available in the campaign. So what you can play right now on early access is almost completely done. We still have a couple worlds of the campaign levels to finish, and there's 2 more boss fights. Right now, there's only 1 boss fight in the existing early access campaign.
That was good, the boss fight.
Yeah, I'm very happy with that boss fight. It is very good.
It was very good. Just mainly me running away from projectiles, but it was it was very good. Yeah, and so it's available on Steam. You can buy it right now. £11.39 if you want to buy it, according to Steam right now. I have no idea what it is in dollars, I'm afraid. Sorry.
It's $14.99 normally, unless it's on sale.
Okay, cool. I've completely lost the flow today. I've completely lost track of what I was talking about. So we've done. Okay, so you've had to music help. Here we go. Surprises or troubles while you've been making this game? Has there been anything that you thought was going to be easy, but actually turned into a nightmare, or you've spent, way?
Yeah.
What have you suffered?
So a couple things. In the previous version, I made a level editor that only Kelsey could use, and it was just part of the game engine. So it was written in C#, and it was very much just tossed together, not really thought out. I knew she was going to be the only one using it, so I didn't spend a lot of time on it. And so it was really clunky, and it took her a long time to do anything with it. And anytime she wanted to change the art or anything, she had to come to me and be like, I've changed the art. I need you to go and rebuild the game and all this. It was a very laborious process.
Oh, no.
It's pretty rough.
Yeah, it was pretty rough. So in this one, I took the hard left turn, and I decided I'm going to make a whole fully featured level editor that anyone can use. It's on our website right now. Anyone can use it, even if you don't have the game. And it's the same one that Kelsey uses to make our levels. And I also made a couple other tools. So like when she changes artwork and stuff, instead of having to come to me to rebuild the game and everything, she has tools that she can just rerun an executable that compiles all of her artwork into her existing environment of the game, so she can test stuff without interrupting my work or without me having to interrupt her work or whatever.
Wow, very cool.
So that took building that editor before I even started writing this new version of the engine. Building that editor took a few months all on its own. So, and I thought I was going to be able to do that in a few weeks. So that took a long time.
That was a big hit.
Yeah.
So your engine, is that something you sell, or is that available to download, or is it available to the public generally?
No, our engine is super customized for just this game. It wouldn't be useful for much else, at least in its current state.
But do you think you could use it in the future for something else if you change some bits, or is it a case of just starting again?
So we'll reuse a lot of what we've written for this engine for either Muffed sequel or our next game or whatever it is we end up working on. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Wow, that's impressive stuff. I don't know how you do it. I've got no idea. In fact, have you got so for anyone who is looking to get into game development, do you have is there anything obvious that jumps to mind where that's an obvious tip or somewhere where they can start? Is there anything you would suggest for people?
It kind of depends. For me, I usually suggest people to start with very complicated paths of where to start because I prefer to do everything programmatically. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't recommend someone to go start with Unity, but if that's what works for you, then great. You know, make your game with Unity. That's fine if that's what gets it done.
I guess.
But I wouldn't.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, I wouldn't push someone to Unity. I'd be like, no, learn to program properly so you can make the engine exactly the way you want it to be.
Yeah.
If it takes more time.
Yeah, code it in Notepad from scratch.
Certainly not Notepad.
Yeah, you sound like a friend of mine who is the most particular person ever and has to do everything from scratch.
Yeah.
So you're that guy. Cool. Hey, what you get is a very unique custom game, which is awesome. So it's obviously working for you.
Yeah.
So now we're going to go on to some of the other stuff that you do. But do you have, so long term, do you plan on making more games, or is this depending on how this game does, or what is your sort of your outlook for the future?
I've always been making games, and I always plan on making games. So,
is this your first game together?
No, we have one other game on Steam, but it was more of like a weekend project that we put together.
Wow.
So this is our first real game.
Right. Wow. Okay. So this other game, you managed to get it on Steam.
Yeah. It's called Simple Light Cycles. It's on Steam for I think a couple of bucks, and that's actually the reason that we kind of took the plunge into full-time development is because it was a bit more successful than we expected, and like I say, we worked on that game I think for a grand total of 4 days. So
Simple Light Cycles.
It was a small project. We were playing a Tron game, a Tron clone on Ouya at the time. And it was pretty fun. Kelton, myself, and my brother, but it was kind of laggy. It didn't you'd hit the button to turn and it would take a while. And so we wanted to make one that was super super responsive.
It has to be.
And so what?
It has to be responsive if you're playing. It's basically like you said, like a snake game.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't have a delay if you want to turn left. You have to turn left now.
Exactly. And so that's what we did. And so we made that one so that we could play it, and we ended up putting it on Steam, and people ended up buying it, and that's where we're at.
Yeah, no, that's cool. It's very. I can't believe you got this. You did it at a weekend.
Yeah, that was originally like a 2-day project. After we put it on Steam, we spent a little more time trying to make it more. When we made it as a weekend project, the menus were pretty crude, and there was about a bunch of inside jokes, so most people playing it didn't understand what half of the things were, so we had to make it a little more public friendly.
Okay. Now that is £1.59 on Steam here. So,
Yeah.
That's very cool. Wow. To you guys. Okay, so gaming is not is there anything else for Cymatically Muffed? Is there anything you want help with? Are you looking for help with the game, or are you completely set up?
We're set up for development. We always need people to buy it, wishlist it, and leave us a Steam review. If you want to support it.
Yeah.
Anything like that.
That's the main thing. So
let us know if you find any bugs.
Yeah.
If you find any bugs, we will fix them.
Yeah, send us an email. We worked with one individual that is the best tester in the world. Couldn't get it to run. It just crashed. And after like a week of going back and forth with this individual, we finally figured out that it was because he was a Turkish individual that had their Windows in Turkish. And we were using a function in C# that converted something to lowercase using Turkish. And so it converted a capital I into a lowercase I with no dot, and then looked for a file with that file name that didn't exist. And there's no way we would have found that bug without that person's direct help. So if you find something going wrong, let us know.
What are the chances of that?
Yeah, it was wild.
Wow. Well done, that man. Okay, so the main thing that you want is just people playing your game, reporting any bugs, sharing it, reviewing it, all the aftercare stuff, isn't it, really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Play the game. Tell your buddies.
And your friends can play with you without owning the game. Remote play menu.
Okay, yeah, because we were talking about this. I remember when I first played it, I asked you about the multiplayer, didn't I? And you were saying that it's the Steam feature, isn't it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's integrated with Steam Remote Play, and it's integrated right into the game. So when you run the game, you can invite anyone on your Steam friends list, and they can join. Even without, they don't need to own the game. They don't have to download the game. They can just hop in.
Wow. Okay, that's very cool. I must try that.
They do need to have a controller.
Yeah, they do need to have a controller.
Okay. So, what is the game multiplayer then? The object of the game as a single player is to escape the lab, isn't it? And
yeah,
and get out of there. So, multiplayer, is it just a free for all shoot 'em up, or?
So there are 3 game modes. The campaign is co-opable, so you can get 4 players in the campaign and just play through like you have, but with friends. And then there's a survival mode that's kind of like zombies from Call of Duty, where swarms of enemies come after you and you just fight as many as you can, and that's also in the co-op. And then we have a PvP battle mode.
Wow.
That has a lot of variation, so it's got standard death matches for timed lives or numbers of kills, and then there are team modes and capture the flag, cops and bombers, which is kind of like Counter-Strike, and there's puck. It's kind of like air hockey, except you hit the puck with your weapons.
Oh wow, so there's loads. I thought it was I didn't expect it to be quite so fully featured, if I'm honest.
Yeah, the battle mode doesn't usually stream that well, so people that stream it haven't usually even seen it, but the battle mode is actually the first thing that we made. The battle mode was almost completely finished before we even started on the campaign, so it has just loads of features, loads of variety.
Wow.
And you can play up to 16 people in the battle mode, so it's good if you have a party or some friends over or something like that.
That's very cool. Okay, I'll have to check that out. So I haven't tried out the multiplayer yet. I said you were just adding it as I last streamed it, I think. I can't remember. Okay, so I tell you what was awesome. I thought is some of the weapons you have.
Oh yeah.
Now, when I activated the cheat mode, basically, where I could do everything, the easy mode, that was amazing. It was just unlock all weapons, yes, because you have rifles, you have rocket launchers, and amazingly, you have drones.
Yeah, we actually have A ton of weapons. So there are a bunch of different melee weapons. There's swords and like lightsabers and axes and tomahawks and whatever else. There's a ton of guns, sniper rifles and pistols, revolvers, laser pistols, whatever.
So many.
And then we also have like grenades and things like that. Throwables is what we call them. Grenades, and you can pick up just about anything and chuck it at somebody. But
That's what I love. Yeah, throwing clipboards at people is amazing.
Yeah. But the controllables, there's actually 3. So that's what I call them, is controllables. There's the drones that you can fly around. It's just like a little quadcopter thing.
Yeah.
And it can pick up grenades and drop grenades and self-destruct. There's also an RC car that works pretty much the same way, but it's a little RC car, so it has to drive around the ground. It can't fly over stuff. And then there's the guided rockets that are my favorite. And you can steer them through doorways, and they move really fast. And
it takes
a while to, it takes a while to get good with them. But if you get really good with the guided rockets, you can take out just about anybody with it.
I was going to say, I had a quick go on the guided rockets. Oh my god, I think I just crashed into the wall straight away. I'm like, oh right, okay. They are very fast. I'm just looking at a video here on the stream.
That trailer starts with the guided rocket very first.
Absolutely. And I love the animation on the drone, just like with the blades spinning, and it looks like one of those what are those drones called? Whatever the drones are called, but with the white ones that everyone seems to have.
Oh yeah.
That is very cool.
That makes sense, because that's what I think.
That's what it's based on.
That's what Kels used as the reference material when she drew that.
There you go. Who knew? That's it. You can draw. You've passed. So I'm just looking at the battle. Okay, what is workshop? You got that as a feature in the menu.
Yeah, so workshop is 2 things. Is on the website, workshop is just the label for the level editor. In the game engine, workshop is the housing for what happens with the level editor. Is anyone can make levels, and you can publish them on our website. Oh. And then anyone that has the game can go and browse and download those levels. Like, you can make new PvP levels, you can make campaign levels if you want to, and then other people can go to the workshop section of the game and go download those levels and give them ratings. And yeah.
Wow, that's very cool. That's actually a very cool feature. What sort of knowledge or skills do you need to be able to edit the levels?
None. The level editor is pretty self-explanatory. I mean, you just add rooms and you add stuff in those rooms. There is a full featured set of documentation that we took a lot of time to write out if you want to know like the specific nuances and get really efficient with keyboard shortcuts and that kind of thing. But if you want to just go in and make a map, anybody can do that pretty easily.
This sounds like a challenge. That could be a cool stream I'll do one day.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
We'll create a level, and then you'll see.
That'd be way awesome.
Then that'll be a good test. I'll tell you what, because then you'll see how stupid my brain is. And you'll be like, no one uses it like that. What are you doing? I'm like, I thought it made sense.
That would be super helpful, actually. We've only seen like one other person use the level editor so far.
Yeah,
so.
I wasn't aware. Oh, yeah. If I can do it, it's idiot proof. So we'll do that. We'll plan that in. I'll try and edit a level and release it into the wild. That'd be cool. I'm looking forward to that. That'd be very good. Okay, so is there anything else? Because I want to go on to some of the other stuff that you do. But is there anything else you want to talk about Cymatically Muffed? Anything you want to cover that we haven't covered?
Feature specific things that come to mind.
Yeah.
We have the drop in, drop out that a lot of people really like. It plays really well at conventions. When we show the game and we go to events, then people can hop in the middle of a match and leave in the middle of a match. That's most useful for the campaign, but like I say, when we go to conventions and stuff, it's really handy even then, because then they can just jump in and out as they walk by, and that works out pretty well.
Oh, so they can because I noticed again, you started me on this indie devitis of making games really hard. So I was pleased when I could drop the difficulty slightly for my simpleton brain.
There's a whole conversation about the difficulty online. Actually, a lot of people complain a lot when there's difficulty settings. They're mad that you don't play it the way the developer intended or whatever. And we at least are here to tell you we intend you to play it however is most fun for you. Like I do not care if you want to play it on very easy.
Those
I
people.
feel like some of those people don't realize that the person who's like making and balancing the levels is a person like me. Like, I don't want the gamers to suffer because I didn't balance the levels in a way that leads to fun gameplay.
Not only that, when we make levels for the first time, I mean, we've been playing this game all day, every day for years, so we're really, really good at it. So even when we make it a little easier, it doesn't usually pan out that way for the end user.
Yeah, those people who are saying that are just stupid people. Because that's like saying, you should run the marathon in 2 hours.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but what if I've got one leg? What if I don't want to run into? Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's a ridiculous statement to say. And
Yeah.
And a lot of the games, as I'm getting older, my reactions are slightly getting slower, and my concentration is slightly less. So I have to bump the difficulty down just so I can enjoy it now. When I was a kid, it was like, no, I need to challenge. I need to not die on this level. Now I don't care. I just want to play. Play through the game. I just want to shoot stuff, hit people in the face, and just complete the game. And what was happening for me is that I was playing a game, getting stuck, and then putting it down and going, I'll come back to that later. That's not happening, is it? Who does that?
Yeah.
And then
that happens to us a lot too.
Yeah, and then I've got loads of games I've half completed or 3/4 completed. And
it's especially frustrating when you're playing through and you get to like the one level that you can't get past. And then what do you do at that point?
Like in Gauntlet.
Done. Yeah.
In Gauntlet. We were recently playing whatever the new Gauntlet's called, I don't know. But we played through the whole thing and it was super fun. And we get to that final boss level and that difficulty ramp spikes like 500%. Like, it was impossible for us to do. And if they didn't have the difficulty drop where you could just put it on easy mode, I was like, we're done. We're not playing because I'm not going to spend a month getting good enough at this to be able to beat this one map.
No, and then what happens? You just don't end up seeing the end of the game, and it sort of gets lost in your mind, and then you don't even recommend it to people, do you? Because exactly. You never finished it. You think, well, I don't know what it was like because I didn't quite finish it. So you just want people to play the game. I don't understand why people have a problem with it. But thankfully, you guys understand that, and you have a nice simpleton setting for me, which just gave me loads of cool stuff to shoot things at, which was awesome.
Yeah.
So well done to you.
Thanks.
So anything else? What have we got here? Have I missed it? Have I missed anything?
Well,
where's the
here's one.
Yeah.
We can talk about on the podcast. It's not painfully obvious that the game actually supports this, but you can control it with your phone. You shouldn't, but you can. Because of Steam Link Touch, you can use your phone as a virtual gamepad, and it will run like a gamepad, and it's natively supported, so you'll see like the right glyphs and everything in the game, just like with any other controller that we natively support.
Wow.
But we've got native support for a lot of controllers because we like it when your glyphs actually match the controller that you're using, so you don't have to convert X and A into square and cross or whatever they're calling it.
And then you can't remember what they are, can you? You're like, which one was this again? You don't want to do it.
Yeah, Kelts likes to use PlayStation controllers, and I use my Xbox controller.
Yeah,
and when we play most games, it'll show just Xbox glyphs, and that's kind of frustrating. So when you play Muffed, the Xbox player gets Xbox glyphs, and the PlayStation player gets PlayStation glyphs. They'll match whatever you're holding.
Again, wonderful attention to detail. Yeah,
we might have spent a little too much time on that too, actually.
I was going to say it's sounding like it should be featured in another question here. Yeah, yeah. I can't use PlayStation controllers. The thumbsticks are too close together. I clash thumbs. Have I just got massive thumbs, or because they just hit each other? If I'm going inwards on both of them, my nails hit each other. So.
I'm a girl, so I might have smaller hands. Sam also likes the Xbox controller. I feel like the Xbox controller has my wrists out too wide.
I like the Xbox buttons better. They're a little more tactile, big and bulky, and you push them down with some force.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I've always preferred the Xbox, but okay, interesting. So, anything else? Where can we find out? Where's the best place to find out about the game? The best place.
Steam, our website.
Mm-hmm. It's on Steam. You just search Muffed. Don't try to spell Cymatically. It's okay. Muffed will find it.
Yeah, just search MUFFED on the store. on the Steam store, and it'll pop up.
Okay, and what's the website?
Our website is muffed.kelsam.net, muffed.kelsam.net.
Yeah, I'll put a link.
And it has links to Steam and to Twitter and everything else.
Excellent. Amazing.
Yeah.
So you don't. So the game doesn't have its own Twitter account, does it? It's just you use your account. Is that right?
We started out making a custom Facebook and Twitter and everything for just the game, but we never updated them because there's just too many to keep track of. So now we just do everything on our own Twitter and our own Facebook,
fine, yeah.
so we can put all of our tabletop stuff and video game stuff and everything on that one thing, and it'll just show up to anybody that likes the stuff we make.
Yeah, it makes more sense because otherwise you've got to keep logging in and changing logins for everything, haven't you? Drives you mad.
Yeah, exactly.
And then eventually, when you guys have got like 50 games out there, who's logging into all those Twitters?
Yeah, exactly.
No one. Cool. Okay, awesome. Well, like I said, I've streamed it a couple of times, and I keep thinking, I'll just have a quick go. Tends to be 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah, it sucks you in. It's a good one.
So that's a good sign. And it's good fun. I'll say it looks gorgeous. It plays, like I said, super smooth. And there's actually, with the multiplayer, that's added a whole chunk of content in there, isn't it?
Yeah, we really wanted to go out of our way to make sure you're getting some bang for your buck. It has a lot of replayability, lots of ways to play, cooperative, PvP, everything.
Yeah.
And yeah,
that's a cool
We
game.
like multiplayer games.
yeah, yes, we
so
do.
I. You want to be able to blast your mates in the face, don't you? That's half the point of gaming, really, isn't it? I mean, who's playing them on their own?
That's right.
So yeah, okay. Well, so as you said, hop on Steam, go onto the website, grab the game now. It's very cool. You can watch a couple of my streams if you want to check them out on there. And I will be doing a level editor. The level may well turn into some sort of rude drawing. I can't find it. Tends to be where it goes, but we'll see. We'll test it. We'll see what rude parts you can draw with a level editor. So we'll do that. That'd be awesome. That'd be cool. Very cool. Right. So your other stuff. So you don't just make games, do you? You don't just make digital games.
No. So we are best known for our tabletop projects. Actually, we made Simple Light Cycles, and that did okay. But most people know us from Kelsam Tabletop, where we make mods and stuff for board games, for card games, stuff like that.
Okay, so this is mods for current games that already. You don't make new games, is that right? Or you're just making
right?
mods?
Yeah, we don't make our own board games. We just make stuff for board games that we like.
Okay, so what kind
Not
of
yet, at
stuff?
least.
Yeah, sure, we'll make a board game at some point, but they're expensive to manufacture and ship, so we make software.
Yeah. So what examples have you got then for what are you making? What is a big game that you've modded?
Our most well-known stuff is usually for Twilight Imperium 4th edition. We make game mats and inserts and different things that people like, and you can get it all for free. Like we don't sell any of that stuff. You can go to tabletop.kelsam.net and download any of the mats and print your own, or you can print them from whatever print shops, and we release the plans and 3D models and stuff for the inserts that we make. And
Oh wow!
yeah.
So why don't
I think
you
the other best known stuff we make a software sometimes for some of them. So for a game called Legacy of Dragonholt, we made a character sheet generator, so that instead of having to like write one out with a pencil, you can type in all your stuff in this thing and put in an image and print it out. And yeah.
Set up apps for Roombound.
Yeah. Oh, the token caster for Runebound is pretty popular. We have monthly, probably a few hundred people that use that actually, which I was surprised to find out.
Our D&D campaign is pretty big.
Oh yeah, that was really big. We have probably like 4,000 or 5,000 downloads of a Dungeons and Dragons board game campaign that we made. One weekend we decided we wanted more of this board game, so in 2 days we made this campaign called Puppets of the Balor, and it turned out pretty good. And a lot of other people apparently think so too, because yeah, it's probably actually almost as popular as our Twilight Imperium stuff, but I'm not sure.
Wow, that's very cool. So
Yeah.
why don't you charge for any of this stuff of interest?
Part of it is legal. Some of the stuff we make, we don't have the rights to, so we couldn't sell it if we wanted to.
Gotcha.
And the other part is it's just little mods for board games you already have to spend money on. So we're just not really that interested in taking people's money for it.
We originally started building all this stuff for us. And then when we posted about it, being like, hey, look at this fun stuff that we have, we got a lot of questions. So then we started sharing it so that people could build their own.
Yep.
Wow. But do you have a donation page for that?
Oh, yeah, we do. We do have a PayPal donation page on the website.
So if people do want to support you creating these cool things that they're using anyway, they can donate to you and help you do it.
Yep, you sure can.
Yeah.
Good. People do that. I don't play board games really, much to my missus's dismay. But we just don't. I can't be bothered to set them up. That's why I play computer games.
Yeah, board games take a lot of time.
Yeah, they do. And she only wants to play Settlers of Catan. That's all we get to play.
Oh yeah.
Lovely it. I'm getting funny looks. Okay, stop. Change subject. Okay, so anything else that you work on? You got any other little weird side projects that you're not telling me about? Let's have a look.
I don't think so. We pretty much spend all our time working on Muffed these days. If you look at Keltsum Tabletop, we've only even had probably 2 or 3 things we've made for that in the last year or so because we've been so busy working on Muffed. But
you have.
Yeah.
And I think you may have swerved the release date. Question.
The release date for Muffed?
Yeah, did you actually give me one? Or did you go around the houses and tell me something else?
Oh.
I think you may have dodged it there.
No, yeah. So I don't. We don't have a set date. It'll be released when it's finished. We aim for a month, 2 months from now, but that's also been the aim for lots of months. So
summer 2020.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It'll be this year for sure. Yeah.
Hopefully before the summer.
Yeah. Hopefully before the summer.
We're in the final stretches here.
We keep adding stuff. Like the comics weren't planned until a couple weeks ago, and then we spend a bunch of weeks putting those in. So we just keep adding more and more feature creep.
Like mid-January, we were like, "Oh, there should be comics."
Yeah. Oh, why isn't it? They do look nice though. It does add quite a lot to it, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
really adds to the narrative.
Yeah, definitely. But like I said last week, so the last developers stop touching it.
just finish it. Just finish it. Get
touching it. Put it down. So once you finished it, well, so I know we sort of went over this a little bit already, but you don't have anything planned for another game yet. You haven't started penciling in something else new or anything yet, have you?
We have a couple ideas for a possible sequel to Muffed, and we have a couple ideas for different games we want to do. Which of those happen kind of depends on how Muffed performs financially.
Of course.
But yeah, for right now, for Muffed, there's nothing else we're really going to do to it feature-wise, or at least we don't plan to. We just are going to finish the campaign, and then it will be done and released.
Awesome. Okay. Well, again, thank you so much for letting me play your game. It's been good fun, and again, we've and thank you so much for you always join my live streams. I really appreciate it. It's very good, very nice of you. So you get some extra bonus points.
We like watching you stream. You're very animated.
See, I don't think I am. I think I'm just sat dead still when I'm playing. But when I die, I tend to move my head a lot. And my hands go into my face a lot, which probably just means I die a lot. That's probably the problem. Which goes back to I'm glad you got an easy difficulty rating. Cause,
I was going to say, we all got that IndieGameiacs where we make our games too hard.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, well, thank you so much for coming on the show. And again, thank you for your cool game. And everybody should go buy it, go check it out, and go and see all the other cool stuff that you do as well.
Awesome.
Thanks
for having us.
My pleasure. Okay, we can stop it there. So that'll be the end of the podcast bit. But of course, we're still live on Twitch. So, so no swearing. Oh, you can. It's an 18. It's fine.
Yeah. Anybody on Twitch have any questions?
No. Again, I try not to look at the chat while I'm doing this. No, we had Raz. Was he which developer was he? Oh my god, forgotten now. But I say the main thing for this is that I've been very lapsed at uploading these to YouTube so far. I've just been so what I'll do, I'll just once this stream finishes, because it's Twitch, you have to wait 24 hours.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then I'll re-upload it to YouTube just so it's there forever, because otherwise Twitch delete it. So.
Gotcha.
So I'll stick it up there. So again, you're free to anything you want to use. It's yours, guys. So don't have to ask if you want to use audio, any clips, anything you want to do. Just help yourself. You don't have to ask.
Awesome.
Cool.
Very cool. We plan on using a couple of clips from your past streams in the new trailer, actually. So.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, no, it's all your content. I'm doing this because I love games. I love indie games. So I get to play games. You guys get to. Spread the word a bit.
You get to make games.
Yeah, exactly. I'm doing the easy bit, so I think I can do is share what I make. Christ.
That's what it's like.
Yeah. That is a problem we have. Anytime we watch someone stream it, we usually come away with a list of things we want to change. If you played the campaign right now, I bet probably half the levels would have doors in different places.
Oh no. I will play. Yeah, I will do it. Maybe when it gets a bit closer to launch, I'll do another stream.
Cool.
Maybe I'll do.
Have some new levels.
Yeah, we'll have the new levels and the new comics and stuff in there.
Yeah. Well, what I'll try and do, I'll maybe do a bit of a half and half. So I'll play some of the campaign, or actually I'll drag in a couple of my other friends and we'll do some of the multiplayer.
Oh, that would be awesome. That'd be way awesome.
Who can come in? Paul, Steve. Yeah, there's a whole group of people. I'll drag them in. We'll play some for an hour or so, and then I'll do some level editing.
Awesome.
That sounds very cool. Of course, I'll let you know when I do all that. I'm still editing last week's podcast. I thought I'd make a podcast. That'll be easy. I'll just hit record while I'm chatting to you anyway. Man. Editing sucks.
A lot more work than you thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it is. Well, again, only because I've had so many questions from people. I thought it'd only be like now and again. I'll talk to a couple of developers now and again. That'd be easy. Yeah, it's not.
I feel like that's how all of our projects are.
Literally all
Sam's
of them.
like, oh, we could do this cool thing and it'll be done really quick. And I'm like, we could do that cool thing and it'll take a long time.
Yeah, exactly. And I even because I thought, what should I call the podcast? I'm like, whatever. I'll just whatever. I don't care. Now I'm like, no, I need a new name now. It needs its own. I need to give it its own name. That's obvious, kind of what it is as well now. So now I'm thinking about new names. So I've got that to come, and then I'll need a new logo for it. And I was like, what am I doing? All I know is the color scheme. So I'm working on that now. Awesome. Okay. Well, thanks very much, guys. That was a good chat.
Yeah, that was cool.
Hopefully you got everything you wanted to get out there. If you haven't, let me know. We can insert it in if you wish.
Just record an extra chunk and stick it right in the middle.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the joy of podcast, isn't it? Well, I have to do the intro after, so it's weird because I have to try and make sure I don't touch any settings. Because otherwise it sounds like it's a totally different recording, and that's rubbish. I'm quite picky with sound. I can't stand sound that's terrible. I listen to podcasts. I'm like, no, it's a Skype call. I'm not listening to that. I can't stand it. So yeah, cool.
That'd be rough.
Yeah, Skype does not have the best processing algorithm.
No, and people use it for big interviews.
Yeah.
I was like, man, get them to record their own audio. Look, what I have been doing, I say up until you guys, is I've been getting the other person to record their own audio on Audacity and send it to me. But I don't really need that now because with this bot, it records it exactly as you're hearing it in Discord.
Which is a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
we did record our side on Audacity, but it definitely peaked probably every few seconds.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool to have, again, you can never have too many recordings.
Yeah.
So it's cool to have, but I don't. Otherwise, I've got to keep explaining to people. I don't know how many people know Audacity. Some people do, some people don't, and they got to explain how to select your mic. Do you know what I mean? So I was just like, do you know what? Don't worry about it, because that's another job for me, isn't it? Explaining how Audacity works. I'm like, don't worry about it. I'll do it. I'll record it.
Yep.
which is why people use Skype. But again, I can't stand the audio. It's driving me mad. Yeah, cool. Okay, well, I'm going to stop it there, and I'm going to have to edit this. Luckily, this should be a pretty quick edit because there was not too many, weird moments. Probably helps that we've spoken before a little bit. Because,
too many weird parts where we just didn't answer something.
Yeah, like hello. Yeah, no, it's normally pretty good. It's been really cool. I mean, that's the people talking to me so far. I've been really lucky. All Americans though. What's going on? What's happened?
That surprises me.
Yeah, that
I feel
surprises
like
me too, actually.
We hear about a lot of indie devs that are not from here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've had 2 or 3 that are from Europe, but their English isn't. They're not comfortable enough with their English to come on and talk.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
shame. Yeah, like there's a guy that I did. I don't know if you saw the Iron Meat stream.
Oh, yeah.
I think he was a Russian guy, and typing his English is great, but he wasn't happy. He's just not comfortable, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
Talking. So I'm gonna do a podcast. I've got I think 2 or 3 guys that weren't audio happy. So I'm gonna try and do like a podcast to kind of cover the game because I don't want them to be not to be mentioned because it's not really fair. So I'm gonna
that'd be cool.
try and do like a solo one. I'm not gonna do accents, but I may do. I may read out their parts in their accent. That'd be good. That can only go well. My accents are limited, so the Russian guy may well be Scottish in this version. But we'll see.
Just make up their answers and answer your same question in an accent.
Yeah, that's it.
Only an accent chosen at random. It's got to change throughout the discussion.
Yeah, you can create me a random accent generator that I have to do.
That's probably a thing that exists already with all
That probably
the
is.
text-to-speech
Yeah.
stuff they have out there.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Pretty sure I can pick like 15 on my phone.
Right, let me stop the broadcast of the stream. Thank you to everybody. Ciao.